In progress.
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Derek Branch of Saint Discussions on Strike Seven Sports. In today's video, I just want to talk about addressing the realistic options the Saints may have at defensive end, edge rusher, pass rusher, whatever you want to call it. Because we all know that there's clearly a need for this team to add another quality, another reliable defensive end to go alongside Cam Jordan, Payne Turner, um, Isaiah Folsky, Colin Saunders, Nathaniel Shepard. Those guys are, run stoppers for the most part. Malcolm Roach. They need to add another player that can come in and contribute right away. Because let's be honest, I feel this is how I feel about it. I think, excuse me, I think it would be coaching malpractice if the Saints come out here and say, "Hey, we're comfortable with guys like Payne Turner, Isaiah Folsky, Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan. We're comfortable with what we have right now, and we're gonna roll out. We're gonna roll out with that next season as our guys that we believe can get after the passer next season." I think that's a dangerous, line of thinking right there. If you go ahead and do that, Carl Gurnson is a really good player, but I'm not sure if he is like the guy. I'm not sure I'm not sure. I think he's more of a Robin than a Batman. So I think for right now, I think we need to find guys that on the market that can come in and be, a stopgap until we have guys like, Isaiah Folsky, and maybe, Payne Turner can stay healthy. Guys like that start to come into their own. But I got a list pulled up on Pro Football Focus PFF on their top 25 edge rushers, edge defenders for this upcoming free agency period. I'm going to go over a few of them. These are realistic options right here. Guys that I believe the Saints could be able to afford for like a 1 or 2 year rental, 1 or 2 year deal. You know what I'm saying? These ain't guys that, you know, produce so well last season that they priced themselves out of the Saints range. So, even though the Saints, got this extra money, I don't expect them to, due to the new salary cap that's out, I don't expect them to go out there and just start splurging like that. But I believe for these guys at their age right now, I think the Saints should definitely have interest in signing these guys, one of these guys. So, um, looking at the list, top 25 pass rushers on the list right now. Josh Allen, he's out of our range. Then also, I mean, he's more like, I don't think he fits the bill of what the Saints look for in pass rushers. Brian Burns, out of a range, unrealistic. Daniel Hunter, as much as people want to force it, because he has the LSU connection, and there are talks about Daniel Hunter coming to the Saints last year. It ain't happening because I just think, like I said, he's out of the Saints price range, in my opinion. He's the third ranked edge rusher on here that's the top free agent at the position. Right, even Bryce Huff, I like him as well. Young guy, out of our range. Chase Young, no. Now, when it gets to number 6, Jonathan Grenard, Houston Texans, I think he led the team in sacks last season. Maybe that's a shot. But the players I'm looking at, man, in my opinion, are guys like Jadeveon Clowney, 31 years old, can still produce. Clowney, look at his stats from last season. He had, let me second, 9.5 sacks last year. 31 years old. At this point in his career, he's not gonna get a long-term deal wherever he goes. I think he's gonna be like a 1 year rental everywhere from here on out until he retires. That's gonna be Jadeveon Clowney's plan. And I believe that was like 2020, I think 2020, 2021. I think it was 2020 where that is long drawn out day on, I think it was Saturday, where between Friday and Saturday, where the Saints were in the mix to sign Jadeveon Clowney. Sean Payton went down to Houston, had dinner with him, and he still didn't sign with the Saints. He signed with the Tennessee Titans. Um, I think we should try to give it another shot, make another run at Jadeveon Clowney. That's if the Ravens don't decide to like bring him back, because he was really productive in that scheme, you know, and he also fits the Saints prototype, you know, 6'5", 267 pounds. He fits the mold. So I would try. Jadeveon Clowney is on my list for realistic options for defensive end that I think the Saints should consider signing. Also, we got Zadarius Smith, another player that I like. 31 years old on a 1 year rental. I think this is his pad going forward as well until he decides to retire. You know, mercenary, 1 year rental, fizz the mold as well. 6'5", I believe, 6'5", 6'4", 200. In a second, real quick. Yeah, 6'4", 275 pounds. Um, can move around, got a strong motor. This is another player I really like. I think he would fit in really well with our defense, in my opinion. Darius Smith, Jadeveon Clowney. Now, look at the rest of the guys on this list. Josh Uche, maybe that's a possibility. But then again, in New England, they ran a 3-4, so I don't know if that fits our personnel. Our scheme. Leonard Floyd, that's out of our those lanky guys, lanky, slimmer edge rushers don't really fit into the same scheme unless you want to use them like Zach Baum. A player that Danica Autry, productive, but he's 34 years old. Doris Armstrong. This is the third guy that I like on that I believe the Saints should really consider as well, because this guy, he was a rotational player with the Cowboys, right? And he had rotational player with the Cowboys, and he had 7.5 sacks last season. 2022, he had 8.5 sacks. 2021, 5.5 sacks. He's been with the team with Dallas since 2018. So he's growing. His numbers have went up each of the past 3 seasons. He went from no sacks to 5 sacks to 8.5 to 7.5. So consistent numbers right there. So this is a player I would really want the Saints to consider signing. 26 years old. Maybe you can sign him on a 2 year deal or 3 year deal. See how it plays out. If his numbers remain the same or they go up, and maybe it's a guy you can commit to for another 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 years. Out of the three between Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, Doris Armstrong, I would consider the Saints. I would love to see the Saints pursue Armstrong with Jadeveon Clowney coming in a second. But this guy right here is young. Is still young in his career. Only 26 years old. Clowney and Smith are 31. But it wouldn't hurt me. I won't be bothered by it if they decide to go after Jadeveon Clowney again, because I think he could really help his defense. Until guys like Isaiah Foskey, Peyton Turner can come into his own, hopefully and stay healthy this upcoming season, but you never know. But I know this though. I think it's dangerous to believe that to go into next season, go into training camp with the current group we have right now on the defensive line. I just think it is. Now, in regards to the draft, there is some players that I like that I think would help the Saints out. And these players I've been hearing people talk about the Saints possibly getting away from their scheme to select somebody that's a little slimmer. They have that in this draft. One player I like that comes to mind is UCLA's Laito. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Laito Latu. Guys like 6'5", 6'7", 275. The weight I saw him listed at was like 290. But he did all his damage standing up. And he had speed, bro. And very athletic, all over the field, make plays. That's a guy I really would like the Saints to consider. But even that same token, I want the Saints to sign a free agent that has a reliable free agent that could come in and produce for this upcoming season. Because, let's be honest, Dennis Allen's on a hot seat, and he needs all the help that he can get from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint. He needs to find the best and brightest, the best and most reliable, especially on defense. We need guys that can get after the passer, man, that can help out. I think Cam Jordan has something left, but he is not, the player that he once was. And that's okay. But I think it's time to at least put some measures in place until we find a guy that's going to take the mantle going forward, whether that be Isaiah Foskey, Peyton Turner, maybe Carl Granson comes into his own and be like the number one guy, or somebody in college right now. But we need to find some veterans on this team. Needs a reliable veteran on this defensive line to help out Cam Jordan and guys like Carl Granson. Because at best, guys like Malcolm Roach, Nathaniel Shepard, they're like rotational players at best. Colin Saunders, I believe he was a backup with the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, before he signed with the Saints. So, and I don't think those guys are going to cost much. I know Clowney's not looking. I don't think Clowney's going to get a long-term deal wherever he goes at this point in his career. So we can maybe bend just a bit, compromise to a certain extent, and sign Jadeveon Clowney if we can. But I would really prefer the team take a look at Doris Armstrong right here. Doris Armstrong, young guy, maybe can sign him to a 2 to 3 year deal to see how things play out. But a lot going on, bro. A lot going on today, and possibly the next couple of days. You're gonna hear a lot of rumors, come out, a lot of quotes. And like it started today with, Dennis Allen talking about Marshawn Lattimore. He believes that he can still be a solid contributor to this team. So that doesn't mean he didn't say whether they're going to trade him, or that doesn't mean they want to keep him long term. It's probably saying that just to drive the value up so they can trade him after that. But don't expect a trade to happen now or between now and the draft. They want to, if that happens, that could hurt the cap space. That really puts us financial strain on the team. So a post June 1st trade will free up what help out cap wise. And they won't get any compensation for this year's draft, but they'll get compensation for next year's draft if they decide to trade it. So that's how that will play out with Marshawn Lattimore. But if Dennis Allen believes he can come back and contribute and stay healthy, I'm all for it, you know. But we'll see how it play out going forward. We'll see how it play out going forward after everything clears out. Free agency starts March 13th. That's when you can start, signing players and things like that. I believe a day prior is where you can, a few days prior, you can start tampering with prospective free agents, players that you may have interest in signing. You can negotiate deals. So I think pass rushers should be on that list of needs the Saints need to take into consideration in regards to having a better team next season. So we'll see how everything's gonna shake out. Okay. All right, so that's all I have for y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, let me know how you feel. Which players, which pass rushers do you think do you want the Saints to consider signing for this upcoming season? Also, check out strike7sports.com/Saints for today's content or the One Saints organization. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.